So let's talk about Houdini's death. As I told you before, he's now over 50 years old. And he's tired. He's tired mentally and physically. He's tired mentally because his wife, the love of his life, Bess, is in hospital in New York. He's far away from her on tour. He wants to be with her. He's made his dent. He's achieved everything and more that he wanted to achieve. And he's also physically tired. He's physically tired because he injured himself and has a bad ankle right now. It's excruciatingly painful for him to get up every night and do these full 3-part shows that he's giving. So we go to Montreal. And it's after a show in Montreal that he's very tired, stressed about his wife, worried about his ankle, that he's backstage in a robe. And he's being sketched by a Jewish student at nearby McGill University, a guy named Smilovich, who would later become the eyewitness to some very strange events. In walks a man named J. Gordon Whitehead, another student from nearby McGill. And let's get some heights set here. Houdini was 5'3" about right here. J. Gordon Whitehead was taller than me, about 6'4". He came in and approached Houdini from the right. He was standing, Houdini was sitting, and they talked for a time. And Houdini, as always, was boasting about his muscles, and he invited the kids to feel his forearm and his bicep, and he said, that's where it comes from, that's where you need good strength to make these escapes. And then J. Gordon Whitehead said, Mr. Houdini, is it true you can absorb any blow above the waist? And indeed, this was something Houdini often advertised that he could do. He would flex his muscles and then let somebody punch him. But on this night, before Houdini could even answer, J. Gordon Whitehead, as Houdini turned to stand up, delivered 3 severe blows to his abdomen. After that, according to eyewitnesses, several successive blows until Houdini was on his knee saying, "That's quite enough," very meekly. Now, as the public would soon find out, Houdini was already suffering from appendicitis. They thought it was probably only a matter of time, although he didn't know it until this appendix ruptured. Many believe this trauma to the stomach caused that appendix to rupture immediately. But Houdini was a proud guy and he wouldn't seek medical attention. But 4 days later, on a stage in Detroit with a temperature of 104 degrees, he collapsed. And he was taken to a nearby hospital where he engaged in a now mythic conversation with his surgeon, a man named Dr. Kennedy. And whether or not it happened exactly like this or not, this says a lot about how Houdini viewed himself and his own mortality. You know, I always wanted to be a doctor, Houdini said, meekly pulling the surgeon in, but I just never could. I've always regretted that. Why, Mr. Houdini, Dr. Kennedy said, that is the most absurd thing I've heard today. Here you are, the greatest magician and entertainer of your time. You make untold thousands happy. You have countless amounts of money, and I am just an ordinary dub of a surgeon eking my way through life. That may be true, Houdini said, but you actually do things for people, while I, in almost every respect, am a fake. And Houdini died that night, Halloween, 1926. So what is Houdini's legacy? Well, when I look at this, I see something much more than a straitjacket escape, something he invented and pioneered. I see the imagery of a small man, a Jewish man, a minority, a man who came from nothing and was able to escape from anything. Chains couldn't hold him back. He couldn't be restrained. He was, in a sense, the first superhero.